Moving on, a disturbing personal account shared by Bengaluru Techie on Reddit has triggered fresh concerns about toxic work culture. The techie, who worked as a junior data scientist at a small event discovery startup in Bengaluru, describes suffering months of relentless psychological harassment at the hands of the company's CEO. Now, in the post, it has been titled as "I had complete breakdown during a work video call because my CEO kept screaming." Still dealing with the trauma, the employee said the non-technical CEO micromanaged tasks, imposed impossible deadlines, and resorted to daily screaming matches. The CEO, the techie wrote, had no background in data science but insisted on overseeing every detail. Any miscommunication or misunderstanding triggered public verbal assaults that left lasting emotional scars. And the trauma reached its peak after the techie resigned during a video call a week later. During the call, the employee said that CEO's yelling escalated to a point where they suffered a severe panic attack, struggling to breathe and eventually collapsing. It was only due to the quick intervention of the mother that they were rushed to the hospital. The techie accused the one-member HR team of being indifferent to their medical emergency, claiming that legal processes like final settlement and PF transfers were intentionally delayed, a move they described as a career sabotage. My colleague Vajiola, in fact, joins us with more. Vajiola, startups in Bengaluru, a lot of them are known to, in fact, have such small workforce and even a smaller HR group. But this, in fact, putting out the trauma of a techie, which also highlights what others could be also suffering in such startup groups.
Absolutely, Varghese. This particular Reddit post has clearly given us an idea about how small startups and what is happening within these startups, especially in Bengaluru, where you have small, minimal forces, but you have a high work demand, and especially at a time when the government itself is mulling over increasing working hours, and you have all of big CEOs also talking about it. And at a time like this, a post like this gives you an idea about what actually happens behind the walls of the corporate office, where in this particular case, where the person in the question has raised a lot of questions with regards to the behavior of the office, the way the PF account was being held. It otherwise is a smooth process. And then after which his mental health, his physical health been affected. And if you remember, the KITU, Karnataka IT Union Association, had also done a protest a few months back, in fact, a month back, highlighting how the work culture in Bengaluru has become very toxic. There is a high demand of people being asked to work overtime without any compensation. And this seems to be like a very normal thing now in work culture. It remains to be seen how the labor ministry sees this and takes into consideration, because the last time when we spoke to the labor minister with regards to the work timing and this thing, he categorically said that they will not be doing anything like that, because what Mr. Ambedkar said in the constitution about 8 hours working is what we're going to stick to. But what happens behind this corporate wall is clearly indicated through this post, where he talks about overtime, where he talks about the lack of HR coordination, where he talks about how the boss micromanages everything, and then how the physical abuse that also takes place along with the mental abuse without getting checked. Now, these are things that happen behind the closed wall, and these are incidences that highlight what actually happens behind these places.
Also, Vajiola, has there been any sort of response from the authorities, because it has become viral, and probably have they launched any kind of investigation, or is still just being discussed in certain circles?
Well, it's just a discussion that we are seeing across various platforms, various social media platforms, where it's become viral. We'll have to wait and watch how this pans out, and whether any case is taken up, or will we see any intervention from ministers? Will we see any intervention anywhere? But so far, it's just a topic of debate on social media.